Are you familiar with Thomas Sowell?
Thomas Sowell? No. Enlighten me.
Thomas Sowell, he's 79, around 79, older brother. He teaches, I forgot which Ivy League school, very intelligent economist, black historian, but he wrote a number of books, a lot of books, and he has one book I believe it's called uh, I want to say black white redneck or black redneck or something. It's something. It's I forgot the actual title, but he's got a couple of them. But it talks about history of black culture and how blacks have been kind of brainwashed and things have been distorted throughout history to make it appear as though we weren't as cultured or polished as we were back in the day, to where now we're doing things that weren't really our typical behavior patterns. There was more of what they considered the white rednecks. So when they used to have these factories, right, and you would have these factory owners, and they would talk about the unwanted or the despicables, people that they didn't want working at the factory. It wasn't the blacks. They were talking about Southern whites. See, there's been a switch. The Southern whites were the ones who were doing all the really, and not being racist. I'm just being, this is history. They were doing what's considered the redneck stuff. It's like the Hatfields and McCoys. These people were shooting each other like they do in the hood now, shootouts. They would literally have a town where there would be a guy and he would have a situation with somebody, and they would have these fights, and they would say, uh, fair or anything goes. Everything goes. These dudes, these white dudes get up, they bite each other's ear off, bite noses off. Dudes would shoot somebody, and then nobody would go to jail. Just like in the hood, nobody would tell. So this dude became a prominent gangster in the neighborhood. White dude, country dude, corn fed, whatever, country dude. And these guys were running these neighborhoods like how the blacks run the neighborhoods now. Big Tito, he done shot 2, 3 people. Ain't nobody said nothing. He respected. People give him dap. He got multiple baby mamas. They were doing that already. It's flipped, brother. They flipped it on us. If you look at, there was a picture and a video of kids in New York in like the 40s and like late 40s, when you thought like blacks, and they were dressed in suits, like button down shirts, nice pants, nice shoes. And they had these little white kids. They were dirty. Hey, they're talking all country and hillbillyish, and the black kids were looking like, what are they saying? They're not proper, bro. We've been tricked. They've purposely, because they seen the direction. That's why they got rid of Black Wall Street. That's why they got rid of, like, before they had the whole bus integration thing, black companies had their own buses. When they stopped saying we want to ride their buses, the black companies went belly up. They lost their businesses because everybody black wanted to be white, so they started doing everything they thought they would make them feel like they like me, like I'm part of your culture. We had everything. We were balling. Blacks down in Mississippi, they were balling, man. That was a diabolical game plan to get the blacks to make them think that they were lesser than, and in the process, it destroyed black business, because instead of shopping at your suit store and me, with you, I go to the white man's store, and the quality's not even as good because he's got a black seamstress, but it's a white man's store, and they're buying his shit now because you ain't buying mine because it's from a black man. That's why when you throw a party, everybody wants to get everything free. The white dude throw the party, you're going to pay $600 a bottle. Not going to question it. If this guy's selling a Gucci bag, but you have a bag, man, hook me up, Mo. But they'll pay full price. Nobody goes to Gucci, Louis, Hermes, Chanel, and ask for a deal. None of these niggas ask for a deal. But they see you selling a car, Big Hurt nigga, come on, man. How much you pay for that? Do you ask them how much they paid for that Lamborghini motor? Did you ask the dude when you went and got that McLaren how much he paid? See, blacks, man, they done been conditioned, so it's working. And that's why all these other cultures look at us and laugh. The Indians from India come over here. I know some Indians. I went to one of their events. We like your pitch, Mr. Timmons, but we only invest in our own people. Straight up told me. I've been to Jewish stuff. You're not part of the cult. You're not getting in. I've been to, dude, everybody else operates on a different frequency. We've been tricked. We had the power. We gave it away. Even though we came out, how do you explain somebody coming out of slavery and these motherfuckers is balling with houses and buildings? They were tripping out. How'd they do that? So it's a lot of the history's lies that they tell us, bro. A lot of that. How you mean to tell me 1930, 1920, these people are balling? They were saying in the 1920s, black people knew that white people were broke when you seen white men begging on the side of the road. Black people, you know why they had money? Because they couldn't put their money in the banks. We saved Cadillac. Black people, because that was the only car company when Ford Dog was them, they're going broke. Chevrolet, they like, man, black people, man, were paying $200-300 extra to have a white guy go get them a car because you couldn't go buy a car. We had money. And then we got to figure like, yeah, these dudes got money. We got to trick them out of all their bread. And they all these other things can be called conspiracy, but I'm just saying, man, you see like, damn, how can we get deeper? You go through communities were nice. We weren't shooting each other. We weren't knocking each other off. Your mom could walk down the street, your grandma, nighttime, and not have to worry about getting robbed. Bro, we've been duped, and we still getting duped. That's why Byron Allen said he wanted to own a network, because he said he wanted to show imagery of his daughter that was a reflection of how he seen his as far as in a positive light. And because he asked a white executive for another media company, would you want your daughter to see roles of women being hoes, hookers, bitches, and having multiple kids, don't know their daddies? He's like, we don't make movies like that. Do you see them making movies like that?
Mm. Because it's very sensitive, but it's true. And again, as a disclaimer, we love everybody for everybody. Because I subscribe to Dr. Martin Luther King's philosophy. I judge based on, I don't judge, but I accept and act according to the content of one character. Because it's people, man, that I met darker than you, man, that have put a bullet in my brain so fast, big hurt before a blink of an eye. And I met people that have the opposite skin tone that would give me their shirt off their back. So I'm all for everybody, and I don't judge accordingly to pigmentation. But I will say this, though. From history, from what I read and what I studied, the 1960s was the best time for people of African descent. There was more unity. We moved with unison, and we had thriving businesses. The most popular is Black Wall Street, but it was numerous. It was numerous business districts throughout America, but that's the most popular. And the Euro Americans, they seen the unity and they seen the strength, and they got greedy and they wanted some of that market share because they seen how we were thriving. And other nuances came in place, but that's when integration came. Now, yes, I'm happy that we all can live in the same country, that we all can go in the same schools, that we all look at each other as humans, because that's what we really are at the end of the day. But based on what I read and what I see and what makes sense, integration was passed not in the sense of, not predicated on authenticity of wanting to be one. It was a strategy. You know what I'm saying? Just how Abraham Lincoln, when he freed the slave, people look at Abraham, oh yeah, but he signed the Emancipation Proclamation, He'd forever be part of law history. But do you know the ulterior motive behind that? He wanted more soldiers. He tried to emasculate the Union. You feel what I'm saying? So what he did was he killed slavery, he demolished slavery. You know what I'm saying? So now slaves can get into war, make the Confederacy stronger, and take over the Union. But when you talk like that, people don't fathom. And that's because us as a people, we don't read enough. We have to read. We have to get back in tune with self, with history. And know, because history will always repeat itself. And when you know history, you have a better understanding of the future. And that's what prison enabled me to do. I studied. I went through numerous schools of thoughts. I worked on myself. I read books. I analyzed and self-assessed and socially assessed. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I'm moving the way I am. And to your point, like you said, real quick, Big Hurt, I go through that each and every day. I got a thriving private rental car company without Turo, without Get Around Mine. I got my own systems. I made over $500K last year. doing this shit my way, right? I got the people, oh man, come on, Mo. Man, $80 a day, man. Come on, man. Man, good for the 30, man. 30? You don't go that dude enterprise like that.
Yeah.
I got a dude that was willing to take it to gunplay over a $300 deposit when he was dead ass wrong, Big Hurt. I told him the rules. He signed the contract. I library everything. He breached contract. I take a deposit. He ready to go to gunplay. And one thing about me, Big Hurt, when I'm in the right, I'm willing to die and stand on my 10 toes. But I had to make a conscious decision. I had to utilize my emotional intelligence. I got too much going on. I done built my family. I done built my success brick by brick, Big Hurt, to allow a low life, a person that's operating off of a low frequency, that have no knowledge of self, that doesn't understand how minute $300 really is, to allow me to trick me off the street. Whether I'm right or I'm wrong. You know what, brother? Here go your $300. Here you go. Don't work for me ever again. It's over with. I don't need your money. It's over with. And I just moved on. And I'm still out here striving and thriving. But you see how that works? But it's just the conditioning of the people. It's the conditioning. And the only way to free self, gotta be aware. You
You
have to
know,
know your history.
and I'm in total agreement with you on that. I just like to share, like, the reason I brought up that whole Thomas Sowell thing was because, like you said, a lot of people don't read and they just go off of what they've been fed. And sometimes you got to really look outside of whatever box they don't put you in, because that box is there for a reason. And
Mm-hmm.
like yourself, majority of the people that have helped me haven't looked like me since I've been out. I had a Mexican cat, that helped me out. Got my first car. Had an Asian cat that helped me out. I had some Persian cats, some Russian dudes. I mean, whenever I present something to somebody that looks like me, oh man, how much you paid for that? Oh man, where'd you get that from? Oh man, this and that. And it's like, dude, they don't want to support, but then they'll go right and buy the same thing. Or like you said, I don't, rented out classic cars for little things before. Oh, how much you make off? But they not trying to work. They trying to it's like they want to either somehow sabotage what you're doing, or somehow go around what you're doing, but there's no culture feed. And like you said, I don't know if that's a mental thing, because some of these guys, the slave mentality and just that certain mind frame. But you go over here and people may not look like you, but ain't nobody tripping because everybody balling. They've been like this for generations. Oh man, this is nothing new. So when it comes to actually creating an opportunity, that comes natural. There's no
Mm-hmm.
challenge. That my biggest haters, some of them have been right family members. That, like, I
Oh, you
thought we
ready?
were cool. I'm
I
like, dude,
experience
I
that all
thought
the time.
we had love. But so you got to really be conscious of that. But yeah, man, the race thing, I don't even go there on that. My family's all mixed. My wife is white. I mean, I've been around diversity. I grew up on a military base, so I've been around diversity my whole life. I just say for a lot of young black men that get caught up in that, that's a trick back too, because they want you to think like that, not knowing that if expand your horizon, and once you get out of that, you realize it's more about how you think and look at life. And I feel less about the color of your skin, because you start talking to people, articulating yourself, people are like, man, where are you from? Oh man, you wow, man. People don't they like it blows them away. I had people like, well, man, you did time? Where you don't would you credit cards? What were you doing? No, I wasn't doing credit cards. Oh, what'd you do? Bank robbery. Oh, did you have a note? No, I had a pistol. You know, so people they associate soft spoken or well spoken with soft. Oh, that guy's soft. Maybe he's not a whatever. And that's a misconception, because some of the quietest people I see are cold killers, man. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's funny you said that, man. I got one of my first jobs that really catapulted me and put me on the map. I went in there. It was a Cuban guy. I speak Spanish. I speak fluent Spanish. I learned that in the chain gang, right, from the Cubans. And I see that he was Spanish, and I just had a conversation with him in Spanish. And he was blown away. He seen how I articulated myself, how I conveyed my thoughts, and he just couldn't believe that I did time, that much time at that. And I'm like, yeah. And I just said, man, what my mentor told me, he said, Mo, Don't get consumed by the fire, but get purified by the fire. And I say, what that mean, Osiris? All right. He say, if you take a piece of paper and you throw it in the brush of fire, what's going to happen? It's going to get consumed. It's going to disintegrate. Exactly. Now, you take a dirty, raw piece of gold nugget and you throw it in that same brush of fire that you threw that piece of paper in. What's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to get cleansed. It's going to get purified. It's going to get refined and ready to be sold at high value in the retail stores. But also, when you get that, be that dirty gold nugget. Allow prison, the environment, the fire to refine you and advance you and make you a better person. So when you get on the street, people don't mind investing in you. People don't mind opening up certain doors for you that initially supposed to be closed. But you will forever be the rule to the exception. And I live it, Big Hurt. I live it. I had so many doors open up to me because of the way I speak. Because people, they say when you articulate yourself well, that's traits of a leader. They cling to it, right? But when I articulate myself, when they see my endeavors, when they see my life, how I carry myself, they're just appalled. But I love it because we're changing the narrative. We're showing them just because you went to prison don't mean it's over. That's not the conclusion. That doesn't define me. I'm a human going through a maturation process. I made a bad choice in life. Everybody, everybody fall victim to that. Some a little more drastic than others, but everybody experienced that. Ours just culminated to us doing time, a lengthy time. But we learned, we developed, and we grew. Now look at a beautiful gold piece of gold nugget we are today. Actually having a fruitful conversation, Big Hurt. Never met you physically, but I can feel you as my brother. I feel your energy and I feel your sincerity, brother. And from moving forward, you are my brother. But because we on the same wavelength, because we didn't allow time to do us, we did time. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's beautiful, brother.